Hello, my beautiful friends. This is Joe Sins Rarest Photos, taking you along on a little journey here with these photos. As y'all know, I have somewhere close to 75,000 photos of Elvis, and I try to randomize some pictures from different eras that maybe you haven't seen. Maybe you have seen them. I can't say every one of these is going to be a unique photo that you've never seen, of course, because y'all are wonderful Elvis fans that have seen so much of Elvis Presley throughout his life and career. But I think it's important to continue to do photo series or photo/video series, and spread this around, because there's going to be some brand new Elvis fans, of course, that they see Elvis for the first time or for the 10th time or for the 20th time, unlike us who've seen him since we were children in movies, listened to his records, looked at photo books, read books. So I'm going to continue to do video series like this, and I'll put my Elvis tribute songs, because once again, that's original content. And when I write these songs, trust me, I'm also writing them from the perspective of you, not just for me, because I understand how important Elvis has been to some of our lives. And yes, he was not a perfect person. We don't expect him to be perfect. We're going to, obviously continue to read books about Elvis, and we're going to maybe read some things that are uncomfortable. But, he never pretended to be, Christ. He was Elvis, and he was a man, and he had his downfalls, just like we have our downfalls, whether you're a man or a woman listening to this. So without further ado, let's get into the first tribute song, and hopefully these are some of these photos are photos you have not seen before, and I'll come back and we'll talk a little bit about Elvis as well.
Would the world still be painted black and white if that Technicolor voice had never sung? Would Pat Boone still be the hunk of burning love? Would the world have ever heard Ray Charles or James Brown if Elvis Presley's folks hadn't moved to Memphis town? We went from 0 to 100 miles per hour, from just a seed to a field of golden flowers, from horse and buggy to a rocket ship. Elvis did that with a shake of his hips. Some people try to say he stole his sound. Elvis just sang from down within his soul. With just his voice, he broke the great divide between all music that was black and white. B.B. King and Little Richard thanked him. Elvis took the racist world and changed them. We went from 0 to 100 miles per hour, from just a seed to a field of golden flowers, from horse and buggy to a rocket ship. Elvis did that with a shake of his hips. This world would look like a different place if we never got to gaze on Elvis' face. We went from 0 to 100 miles per hour, from just a seed to a field of golden flowers, from horse and buggy to a rocket ship. Elvis did that with a shake of his hips. Yes, Elvis did that with a shake of his hips. Yeah, yeah.
All right, that's one of the very first Elvis tribute songs that I wrote. Y'all know I've been a singer and songwriter since I was young. Probably wrote my first song when I was 14 or 15. My brother Tommy came to Nashville and was trying to be a songwriter, and kind of inspired me. I was a trumpet player at that point in time, and I was playing trumpet to Herb Alpert and Louis Armstrong, and had never picked up a guitar. Yeah, I danced around and sang to Elvis records, because you do that when you're a fan. But anyhow, I do have my brother Tommy, rest in peace, passed away in at about 2003 or 2004, to thank for my songwriting career. And I know that some of y'all, if you could write songs, you would. And some of y'all probably have written poetry about Elvis. So I'd like to hear whether or not you've written any songs or poems or stories, because there's a great deal of creativity out there in the world, and I believe it should all be fostered and honored. You don't have to be mainstream, like Elvis went mainstream. Think of all the artists that were out there that were talented that never got a shot. I think that's one of the reasons why he worked as hard as he did, and he continued, to play music even when he was sick, and he didn't cancel shows unless he was absolutely so ill he couldn't do it, because he honored that. He honored the talent in the world, and he honored you, the fan.
He walked on stage with a smile, made our dreams come true for a while. Guitar in hand, moving wild, every scream made him feel alive. Shook his hips, people would sigh. If I can dream, he touched the sky. Jailhouse rocking all night long, to the rhythm of a rock and roll song. Elvis gave his life for his fans, sang his heart out right to the end. Every note he gave a piece of his soul, because rock and roll made him whole. Here's where music ended and began. Elvis gave his life for his fans. Long nights on the road, legends told, stories unfold. From Graceland to the crowd, he played every song loud and proud. Elvis gave his life for his fans, sang his heart out right till the end. Every note he gave a piece of his soul, because rock and roll made him whole. Here's where music ended and began. Elvis gave his life for his fans. He shined like the brightest star. Love for that music took him far. Echoes of his voice still live on in every one of his songs. Elvis gave his life for his fans, sang his heart out right till the end. Every note he gave a piece of his soul, because rock and roll made him whole. Here's where music ended and began. Elvis gave his life for his fans. Here's where all music ended and began. Elvis gave his life for his fans.
So we're about 9 minutes into this video, and of course this video is about 25 minutes long. There's a lot of great photos. I hope you guys stick around and continue watching, and hopefully you find some photos that you haven't seen before, and maybe you rewind it, maybe you pause it, maybe you take a look at it, maybe you do a screenshot or take a picture of it on your phone. But that's the point of these videos, is to honor the legacy of Elvis, and to bring something hopefully to y'all that you don't have or you haven't seen before. Or maybe it's a book that you haven't been able to buy or you haven't been able to find, like that Elvis and Kathy book. I popped out, I think, $550 or $600 on that book, and that was a pretty cheap price for what I saw going for the other higher copies, because it's out of print. But anyhow, love you all very much, and I probably will pop back in a couple more times. But here's another song I wrote in honor of Elvis and his mother, Gladys.
She held him close to her heart from the very start. Through every joy and fear, she kept him near and dear, with a love that's pure and true. In everything she'd do, a mother's guiding light shone through the Elvis night. Oh, Gladys loved her son until her big old heart gave out. And there's no greater love than a mother's love. Holding her hand, he found peace, and all her worries would not cease. There shares a bond that never fades, it loves me tender shades. Oh, Gladys loved her son until her big old heart gave out. And there's no greater love than a mother's love. Holding her hand, he found peace, and all her worries would not cease. They shares a bond that never fades, it loves me tender shades. Oh, Gladys loved her son until her big old heart gave out. And there's no greater love than a mother's love. With every note he'd sing, he danced on her heartstrings. A melody so sweet made their bond complete. Oh, Gladys loved her son until her big old heart gave out. And there's no greater love than a mother's love. Yeah, there's no greater love than a mother's love.
You know, without Gladys's love and fostering of Elvis's talent and who he was as a person and the reassurance that she gave him, I mean, we wouldn't have the same trajectory of a career as Elvis, of course. And Elvis so badly wanted to get his family out of poverty and so badly wanted to reward his mother and his father. That's why he really went about it the way he did it, and he kept trying. He kept banging his head against the wall. I mean, he wasn't successful the very first time he walked into Sun Studios. I mean, he had to keep going back and keep going back and keep going back. And I think that's something for everybody out there. You know, you can have some success no matter what age you are. I mean, there's some folks that are 65 or 70 listening to this that think, oh, you know, it's over for me to be successful at this or that. But trust me, you can be successful. You can touch people in your community, or if you want to start a YouTube channel, it's not that hard. You can start a YouTube channel, and maybe you're a great seamstress, and you could just you can buy one of those iPhone holders and a stand for about $50-$75, and you could film yourself, you know, sewing. There's so many things that you can do at home, and I want y'all to know that. All right, here's a couple more songs. Let's see who makes it to the end. I mean, and how many pictures that you haven't seen. You don't have to give me an exact count. 20 pictures, 10 pictures, 5 pictures. You've seen them all. I'd like to know.
The shadow of the king still haunts the Memphis night. In the dimming southern light, Graceland comes alive. he walks those southern halls, his footsteps fall and fall, until those gates up front swing wide and bring his fans inside. Elvis looks out, smiles down at the crowd, from his window way up high at Graceland, watching time go by, watching over us all, day after day, night after night. Memories like a song, keeps the king walking on. He is still amazed, we love him to this day. Elvis looks out, smiles down at the crowd, from his window way up high at Graceland, watching time go by, watching over us all, day after day, night after night. Memories are like a song, keeps the king walking on. He's still amazed, we love him to this day. Elvis looks out, smiles down at the crowd, from his window way up high at Graceland, watching time go by, watching over us all, day after day, night after night, day after day, night after night.
Now I do have a video, a music video of that song on the channel. It's way back, and I believe it is called "The Shadow of the King" on the title. But I may have to repost it at some point in time, because I shot the footage at Graceland with my wife, and I went there for our anniversary because I love Elvis so much, and my wife loves me so much, and she definitely developed a greater sense of why Elvis is important to me as well as you fans by going there.
Back when Elvis was still on the radio, the pace of traffic in your town still nice and slow. Before JFK and MLK were shot, we appreciated everything that we ever got. Before cell phones were put into our hands, we would all sit down for dinner and hold each other's hands. Life was so much simpler when we were kids. No kneeling for the anthem or throwing all those fits. We loved the good old USA. Every morning we would salute the flag and say, I pledge allegiance, with hands over our hearts. If we could turn back time, that would be a damn good place to start, where moms and dads still lived in the same home, and Elvis was still playing on the radio. Back when we had enough on our plates, and a restaurant was where your boyfriend took you on a date. Before Bobby Kennedy and Elvis died, when you didn't lose a friend voting If we could turn back time, that would be a damn good place to start, where moms and dads still lived in the same home, and Elvis was still playing on the radio. Before you questioned everything you know, and Elvis was still playing on the radio. Questioned everything you know, and Elvis was still playing on the radio. Shot up like a firework in 1954, when everything on records and TV was a bore. Locks of hair falling down over his sullen eyes, it's twisting in and out, and didn't even realize he was every daddy's nightmare and every daughter's dream. His mothers didn't know they should have those girls to scream. Right along beside them as all the cameras flashed. Without Elvis, there's no Orbison, Jerry Lee, or Cash. He was straight out of Tupelo, the Memphis Flash. The institution tried to ban him, cops lined up at shows. They said, shake it one more time, son, we'll see how your headline goes. But Elvis, he just stood there, wiggling his one finger. They still screamed and rushed the stage for their favorite singer. He was every daddy's nightmare and every daughter's dream. Those mothers didn't know they should have those girls to scream. Right along beside them as all the cameras flashed. Without Elvis, there's no Orbison, Jerry Lee, or Cash. He was straight out of Tupelo, the Memphis Flash. The institution tried to ban him, cops lined up at shows. They shake it one more time, son, we'll see how your story goes. But Elvis, he just stood there, wiggling his one finger. They still screamed and rushed the stage for their favorite rockin' singer. He was every daddy's nightmare and every daughter's dream. Those mothers didn't know they should have their nose screen. Right along beside them as all the cameras flashed. Without Elvis, there'd be no Jerry Lee or Johnny Cash. He was straight out of Tupelo, Memphis Flash. He still makes them cry and smile to this very day. There will never